Good afternoon, everyone. This is Chase Versal. Today I'm going to be talking about the class matches that happened prior, along with applying that to the new class matches that are coming out. I did a little bit of statistical analysis using my class matches. I had about 30 manual PvP matches, 10 of them being auto. And I'm going to look at those 30 and see kind of like what units were used and see if that's probably going to apply to the next class matches. Yes, you won't be surprised. There will probably be a lot of good information from those class matches that we did last time to be able to be used in the next one. So if you're interested in this type of stuff, and I think it'll have some relevance in the future to maybe predict what kind of units will come out, you can send me your information that you did in this class match coming up, and then I can aggregate or accumulate that information together, and then maybe we can find some cool information about it, maybe even do some pretty photos, graphs and stuff like that, so you can put down in the comments if you're interested. So getting into that, going into what kind of comp I used and how I did, I got rank 166. I used Learte, UR Zazan, and Luel, and I think it just went pretty well because if I look at the statistics, I played a lot of lightning units. And that makes sense. In the last class match that you're looking here on the screen, it was meant for a type of camping gunner comp where you would throw a Frederica in the back, put on some bells, and just start raining barrages on people. And so by using a earth comp, you can effectively hard counter that. And that's basically what I did. I threw up some defenses, and I just threw them in, and I won, I think, 10 of my 11 matches against Frederica. Losing to one because I lost to a bunch of multiple reflex uses. So it was very unfortunate, but that happens. But looking at the statistics, I fought, of my 30 matches, Frederica 11 times, King Mont 8 times, and 9S 6 times. Those were my top 3 that I fought. And it makes sense that 9S and Frederica would be very prevalent. King Mont was also highly used because of his berserk ability. He would actually pair quite often, I would find, with with Frederica together. King Mont would be sent. I would have to kill King Mont, or I could get berserked. If I get berserked, he would soak up the damage, and then Frederica would finish off my units with a bunch of barrages. And so fighting those type of units, I know Locke used something very similar. I think he had a Corwell, which is a very good team. I think he even finished rank 2 or 3 in the last one. So seeing that team kind of makes sense. But what's maybe semi-surprising was the amount of Yunas that I fought. I actually fought 6 of them. And that's quite a bit, because considering the fact that healing power is down. You can see right now I'm fighting a Yuna right here. And it was like her only great ability I found in the match was using her space chicken, and she wasn't that good anywhere for any other reason. Yeah, she had re-raise, but we have other ways now to add re-raise, and I don't feel like she was being used optimally. And I think in this next class match, I don't think she is going to be that great either. So I'll actually be hoping for a bunch of units like Yuna coming in. But what was not surprising, and I actually did see a lot of as well, was Black Rose Helena. Black Rose Helena is one of those meta units. It makes sense why she was in the game. She has every means of bringing down some sort of debuff on you. And in fact, that's kind of why I think we saw a lot of non-gunner comps such as King Mont, Black Rose Helena, and Yuna, was because these are the favorited meta units that everyone leveled up. So because of that, they chose to use these characters. Not because they were the best units to use in this class match, they were the ones that people worked on the most. And I think it shows because if I look at some of my other statistics, I also fought Titus 5 times. I also fought Dwayne 4 times. And I also fought, there was one more, Garvel 4 times. So these were units that you would actually be a little surprised. Maybe Dwayne not as much if you pair it with Garvel, Dwayne, and Black Rose Helena, but I would usually do that for auto. not so much in manual PvP. And the reason why I saw a lot of those was because those were units that people heavily invested in. And like 9S and Titus, those were free units. And so there seems to be this tendency to create to put free units into your comp just because they were so easily acquirable. I even saw other easily acquirable units such as Eldira and Silma quite a bit, maybe about 10% of the time. And that kind of makes sense because, like I said before, these are units that were fairly acquirable. The only one that I didn't see, actually, which I guess if I look at how people thought about in the other discords, was Crazy. Crazy wasn't in here that often, and that was probably because she's a water unit, and water units were definitely weak to lightning comps. But I mean, we saw Titus as a contradiction. Titus was in there, and he is a water unit, and I was very surprised of it. I even saw someone use Hastega. It wasn't the first day, of class matches. So big oof on them. But yeah, it was very surprising to see these type of units. And what I think we could extract from it is that these units are going to continue to stay prevalent because of how many people actually built them, these type of free units. So you're going to see them. So I would expect maybe a little bit in your comps to, account for that. And then I think in this next class match, I think the map is still good for gunners, so I think we're going to see a lot of those. So it might actually be in your vested interest to use Earth comps. The only characters you have to kind of look out for are 2B and Corwell. We might see a few more Corwells, but if you build your Earth units properly, the units are very good against wind physical attackers. The only weakness they really have at the moment, if you're using like UR Zazan and Luel in your comp, is magical wind units, and I don't think we really have any of those yet, not until Volush comes out. So that's something to keep in mind. You can create a very strong defense like what I did with my UR Zazan. I threw on Golem, and he still dodged things despite having like 50 defense and a good amount of missile resistance. So I guess looking at the statistics as a whole, I think it was actually, besides the units that I talked about, there was actually quite a few that I fought. There were many. It was very diverse. I fought Veneras, I fought Winter Victorias, I fought Aziza, I fought an OG Zazan. So I think there was definitely a lot of diversity in the comps. And then just looking at some of the few, we definitely saw that there were a high prevalence towards using a gunner team or some Frederica made team. So looking at the next class match, which is going to be Evocation Up and Healing Down, I will expect that there's going to be a lot of gunner comps still. We're going to go at them. I would recommend going after them with expecting that. And then maybe having secondary magical support of something. Or basically what I did was I had a way to cast Shell, which helped me against those type of magical units. So that's how I would go into this, is assuming that is to bring a team that is a bit more physical, or to deal with physical resistances over magical. The other thing, like if you want to get an idea of what kind of team I'll be using, because in the next class match, Quicken and Haste are allowed, I will be switching Learte for Phoebe, and basically be using Quicken and Haste to try and get them there as soon as possible. Try and get Io high ground, or try to navigate past it and take out those Fredericas who are probably going to be using Quicken Haste with Niblu. So that's why I'm expecting that gunner comps are going to be very viable again. We might even see Cheeseblade. Cheeseblade looks possible on this map. Not 100% certain. I haven't actually tried the new Snowy Mountains second version that much, or even if we can. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Again, if you're interested in these type of videos, please send in your comments below. Maybe we can have a discussion and I can do a little bit more grabbing of information from other people and see what kind of comps that they fought mostly. The consensus definitely was Frederica, but I would love to get a little bit more nuanced rather than just using mine. I mean, maybe I only fought one Glaciella and one Ketone. Maybe you guys fought 10 of them, and it would be interesting to see, like, why did this happen? Was it because of your rank? Was it not? Was it because you were doing auto? You know, anything to kind of like learn more from these class matches and then apply it to the next one. Anyways, thank you everyone. You can follow me on twitch.tv/ChaseFirstGame. I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Usually start between 8 and 10 p.m. On Wednesday, I will definitely be doing my class matches in the evening, so you can come out to watch that. And subscribe and like my videos on YouTube. I appreciate it. And see you in the next one.